So now let's go look at this other one that you need to help us. Real quick, it's multiplying dividing integers. Okay, so I think that look, during the trading period, un periodo de 10 días, the balance in saldo of Martha's checking account dropped $290. Write a division expression to represent the change, el cambio, change. Determine the average daily change in account during balancing the period. So average, this word here, este es un promedio, la palabra es promedio. So an average, it means that's a division problem. Okay. Dropped. Si el periodo de 10 días, tu saldo bajó. So this one, if it drops 290, and that's not a positive number because it dropped. So that means that's a negative number. $290. Okay. So during a 10 days, so this is for 10 days, 10 days, you drop $290. Determine the average. Average means division. So then 290, well, how many days? 10 days. So now know your rule or use your what is it? Your Dorito man. Okay, use your Dorito man. Negative, negative, plus. Okay, so there I have a negative here and a positive. So here, negative, positive. So that means I didn't use the negative. So that means my answer has to be negative. Okay, so a negative divided by a positive is negative. Well, don't forget, why make it hard on yourself? Cross out the zeros, and then it's just negative 29. Okay. An average daily change, a day, por día. So $29 per day. Okay. Another way to see it is, well, isn't negative 29 times 10? Isn't that $290? Just a way to check. Okay, number 2. The table shows scores with relation to par for Sam and his 3 golf. Sam and his 3 golf league partners. During the last round, write an expression that represents the mean of your scores and determines its value. Mean, this one is measures of central tendencies. Mean, median, mode, and of course range. Well, mean is another word for average. And average, we know that means it's a division. Okay? So think there. Okay? So let's first add them all together because when we do an average, we add them and then we divide. So let's look there. Negative 6 plus negative 4 plus 2 plus 8. Okay? And then you're going to divide by, ¿por cuánto son? ¿Cuánto sale? 1, 2, 3, 4, ¿verdad? So we divide by 4. So now, a negative, let's add up all the negatives. Negative 6, negative 4. Okay. Add them together. Okay. Negative 6 plus negative 4, well, you, by rule, if they're both negatives, add them together. And so you get negative 6 plus negative 4, that gives you negative 10. And what's 2 plus 8? How did it get 2 plus 8? Yeah. 10, another 10. I have a little sobrinito to help me out. Okay. And so now think there. By rule, when one's negative and one's positive, you subtract. So what's 10 minus 10? Well, that gives you 0 over 4. In golf, I think this means even. Okay. And this is 0. I think their score is even. So there it goes. Let's go next one. Okay. The lowest, look at number 2. The lowest point of elevation in the United States is Death Valley in California at 282 feet. Look at this, is feet below the Dead Sea in Israel is 1,360 feet below sea level. By a division expression that could be used to find how many times greater the Dead Sea lies below the sea level than Death Valley. Determine how many times greater. So, first of all, it's a division problem. So let's put division. Let's put division out. So now this is below sea level. So that's a negative number. So negative 282 feet. Okay, yeah. And so the death value in Israel is 1,360 feet below sea level, below. So another negative number. You want to know how many of these fit in here. So what goes on top is 1,360 divided by negative 282. Remember, use your Dorito man if you need to. No, let me go with it. Dorito man, negative, positive. So think there, negative times negative, okay, negative, I'm sorry, negative divided by negative, that's a positive number. But here we gotta figure out, well, how many times more? We just use table, top in, bottom up, top in, bottom up. Well, obviously, 282 doesn't go into 136, so this is 0. 282 into this. Well, I always like to use 5, so I'm gonna use 282 times 5. See if that works. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 1 is 31. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 4 is 14. So I get that. So I went over. So I pass it. So let's put 4. So 282 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11. And then we have to go is 4. So then we get 1128. You subtract. You can't take 8 from 10. You gotta root. 3 goes to 5. 3 goes to 10. And 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. We add a 0, and when we add a 0, we have to add a decimal. Okay. So now, how many times is this going here? Well, look here. In 5, it was this. You need to find how many times it goes in here. And I think, well, let's try, what do you think? 9? Let's try 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 8 times 9 is 72 plus 1 is 73. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 7 is 25. Anyway, me pasé. So I'm going to go with 8. Okay. So then 282 times 8 gives me 16. 8 times 8 is 64 plus 1 is 65. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 6 is what, 22. So that's about 2256 there. Subtract. And here you can finish the problem, but what it says there, determine how many times greater, round to the nearest whole number. So think there, well, this is 4.8. What's the nearest whole number to that? Is it closer to 4 or is it closer to 5? Remember the rule. 5 or more, we add one more. 4 or less, we let it rest. So you figure that out and you tell me. And you tell me your homework. Let's look at the next one there. A price of the price of stock decreased, so bajó, decreased $4 per day. So el precio bajó $4 por día for 5 consecutive days. So the price of stock decreased $4 per day for 5 consecutive days. So el precio disminuyó o bajó $4 por día por 5 días consecutivos. Okay? So write a multiplication expression, expresión de multiplicación, to show the total change in the price of the stock for the 5-day period. Then in turn explain the change. Okay, so well, it decreased $4 per day. So decrease is negative $4. So let's put the $4 per day for how many days? 5 consecutive days. Okay, so $4 per day. Ahí está, $4 por día. Bajó, so negative 4. 5 consecutive days. Ahí está, en parentheses, because what are parentheses and number next to it mean? It means multiplication. So what's negative 4 times 5? Well, negative times a positive is negative, so it's negative 20. So that means I've lost, in the 5 days, I have lost negative $20. Okay, I have lost $20. Okay, what's the end? So look at the next one there. The 1 week change spent is $12.50 per day. Otra vez, look, una semana entera. One full week, una semana entera. Change spent, gastó $12.50 per day, por día. Write a multiplication expression using integers to show the overall impact or change to the total amount of money he had budgeted for food expenses. So, vamos a ver su presupuesto que tenía para los gastos de comer, ¿ok? Los gastos de lonche. Okay. So, 1 full week, Chang spent $12.50 per day. So, él se gastó por día. Y cuando gastas dinero, it's a negative. Okay. So, spent, negative. Por día. On lunch, okay? So, expression using integers to show the overall impact of change to the total amount of money he had budgeted. So, una semana entera. He is a student, so how many days of the week do you go to school? So you go from Monday to Friday, you go 5 days. Okay. So I think there, if I go 5 days, well, $12.50 per day, so $12.50 times 5. 5 times 0, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5, and then plus 1 is 6. And then move the decimal 2 times, and 2. So for the 5-day period, I'm going to spend $62.50, or change is going to spend $62.50. But because it's a negative times a positive, that's the answer. Okay, so remember, en una semana entera, él gasta $12.50 por día. Quieren que escribas una expresión de multiplicación usando los números enteros. Okay, so how much change? Todo amount de su presupuesto para las comidas de lonche. Ahí vamos a ver $12.50 por día, por 5 días, es lo que vas a total. Water is draining, look at number 6. Water is draining from a current rate at a rate of 3 gallons per minute. Okay? Mira, draining, le estamos sacando el agua. So when you're draining from an aquarium, okay, de una piscina, le estás quitando el agua, estás sacando el agua. So draining, that's a negative. A rate of 3 gallons per minute. So 3 galones por minuto. Write a multiplication expression using integers to show the total change to the amount of water after 45 minutes. So 3 galones por minuto. Y por 45 minutos, pues you're going to multiply. So 45 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So we have an overall change of negative 135. Because a negative times a positive is negative. So this is how much water has drained. Okay, so 135 gallons, okay, in 45 minutes. Okay, I hope this is helpful, and please turn this in as soon as you can. Adios.